In this video, I will be going over questions that you will see in the 3 workbooks and concepts from Lesson 2, Adding Integers. Okay, our first slide here is just another cheat sheet of those rules that we talked about in our live session last week on Thursday, where when we are adding two numbers that have the same sign, we will add the numbers, keep the sign. And when we're adding with opposite signs, we want to subtract the numbers, and then we want to keep the sign of the larger one. Okay, so we'll do a few examples. Our first example is when we have both positive. Okay, these we would just add like normal. So if I have 12 plus 15, that would give me 27. If I have 19 plus 32, that would give me 41. Okay, and remember, feel free to double check these in a calculator if you just want to double check your work. Sometimes, especially with this one down here, I actually made a mistake. It should be 51, right? Because if I have 32 plus 19, this is 11, and I forgot to carry my 1. So see, I made a mistake there, so feel free to double check them on a calculator. So now let's try some examples where we have two negatives. So since my signs are the same, I have a -5 and a -2, all I'm going to do here is add my numbers and keep my sign. 5 plus 2 gives me 7. Both my numbers are negative, so I will carry over the negative sign. Here's another example. I have 25 and 10. Both are negative, so let's add my numbers and keep my negative sign. 25 plus 10 gives me 35, and I'm going to bring that negative with me. Our last example here, I have -100 plus -49. Again, I have those signs that are the same. Both of my numbers are negative. Now let's add 149, which will give me 149. Don't forget to bring over your negative. Okay. So let's do an example. We want to create a number line that represents -2 plus -5. So first things first, let's draw out a number line here. So give me a second to go and label all of these. Okay. Whenever you are looking at a number line, your first number, which here is -2, your arrow will always start on 0. Okay, where if you are looking at a number line, if you see an arrow that is above 0, that's where it's starting, that tells you that is your first number. So my arrow is going to start here at 0, and it's going to go back 2 spaces, so 1, 2. So that is my first number line, or sorry, my first arrow on my number line. The second number we have here is -5. So from that -2, I need to move backwards 5 spaces, and the reason I'm moving backwards is because this number here is negative. I will put a dot above that -2, and I will go back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I should end right here above -7. So that is how our number line would look. Notice both numbers are negative, both arrows are pointing backwards, and there we go. We can also double check this. Wherever your second arrow ends, that is going to be your final answer. If I were to type in -2 plus -5 into a calculator, I would get -7, which is a way of double checking our work. Here we have a little bit of a word problem. It's not too bad. On a cold winter night, the temperature at 6 p.m. is -5 degrees Fahrenheit. The temperature falls 3 degrees by midnight. What is the temperature at midnight? Think about the context clues we're given in this question. I know that I am starting at -5 degrees. Okay. I'm going to draw a number line here. So this is going to be -5. Then the temperature is going to fall 3 degrees. So if it is falling 3 degrees, that means the temperature is going down, right? It is going to get colder by 3 degrees, or it's going to drop -3. So I have -6, -7, -8. When that temperature drops 3 more degrees, 1, 2, 3, the temperature at midnight would end up being -8 degrees. So the temperature at midnight is -8 degrees. -8 is going to be colder than -5, so the temperature is colder at midnight than it is at 6 p.m. And the very last one, this word addends. Addends is a number that you are adding onto an existing one. Here, our starting number was -5. Okay, then I needed to add -3 to give us that -8, because that -3 is how much our temperature decreased by. So here another answer that we would want to pick is that one of the addends is -3, because again, an addend is any number that you are adding to an existing one. We want to know which number line represents -2 plus 5. When you are looking at these type of problems, it is very important for you to do it one step at a time. Remember that your first number is always what's going to go first, and it'll always start at 0. So I have a -2, which means that my arrow should be going backwards. It should be pointing to the left because it is negative. So this one here I know is wrong because my first arrow is going in a positive direction, but my number needs to be negative. So looks like this top one is good. It starts at 0 and it goes back 2. This second one is also good. It starts at 0 and goes back 2. This bottom one, however, starts at 0 and goes all the way back to -5. That's not what we want. We want to have a -2. Now we're looking at these two up here. Our next number is a +5. Since this number is positive, my arrow should be going to the right because it is a positive number. Whenever you are doing your second arrow, your starting point of your second arrow is wherever your first arrow ended. So here, my starting point should be right here above -2 because that is where my first arrow ended. And this should be going the other direction, right? Because I need to have this be a +5. So that means this one is not correct. And if I look at this model here, I'm going from -2 all the way up +5. So that means this model is the correct one that I want to pick. And this red arrow represents a -2. Wendy spent $9 from her savings account on a craft kit. Then she earned $15 babysitting for her cousin and put it in her savings account. What is the overall change to Wendy's savings account? Okay, well, let's think about, she spent $9. Okay, so if she is spending $9, that's money you are giving away. When you go to a store and you're buying something, you're giving that cashier money so you can take your craft kit home. So since she is giving money away, that 9 would be negative. Okay, because she is spending it. It is money she no longer has because she spent it. So it is a -9. Then, when she spends some time babysitting, she earns $15. So, if you were babysitting and after you were done, you earned $15, that is a positive amount of money, right? That is money that you earned, that is money that you now have. So, I would have -9 plus 15. Okay. From here, we can add these together. Remember, our signs are opposite. Right? They have a negative and a positive, which means we're going to subtract them. So 15 minus 9 gives me 6. Since this 15 is larger and it is positive, my 6 is going to stay positive. So that tells me that the overall change to Wendy's savings account is that it increased by $6. And the reason why it increased by $6 is because this 6 here is positive. So the savings account increased by $6. One way, let's see, the savings account changed by an amount less than $15. Solve 9 plus negative 15. That one's not correct. One of the add-ins is negative 9. That one is true because we have a negative 9 here. The reason why this one is not true is because this 15 is negative and our 15 is positive. And the savings account was changed by an amount that was less than $15, right? From beginning to end, it only changed $6, and $6 is less than that 15. All right, that is all that I have for lesson 2. Please let me know if you have any questions. Other than that, have a wonderful rest of your day.